Good everyone, this is Gian, and I've not made a video in a long time, but with the coronavirus going around, I'm going to read a quote to you, and this is just going to be something that you have to look at for yourself in relation to what's going on in the world and how people are responding. So the quote is from Bernard Pullman, and it goes as follows. Do not judge things. Watch the relationship that you form with things, and you will see the nature of yourself that requires direction. Now, how do we apply this practically? That's the point. Now, besides the coronavirus, this goes for anything in the world. This goes for our governments, it goes for our communities, it goes for our neighbors, it goes for ourselves in our own house with the people we live with. And now it goes for the coronavirus, which is highlighting a lot of points in the world. We have to watch our relationship, all right? And see the nature of ourselves in relation to what is happening. Within this, we cannot judge anything because you lose perspective through judgment. What I mean by this is, if you judge something from your perception of what's happening, you're missing the point. But if you see something happening, like wearing masks or buying toilet paper, or you know what people is doing currently, or if you go out and you get supplies for self-quarantining, you have to look at what is your nature, what is it within you, who are you within all of this. And if everyone does this, then you will have a change in how these things are unfolding and how we as a society is going to support and assist each other, and how we can move through what can be illusions, manipulations, deception, agendas, whatever you want to call it. You have to look at your nature in relation to what is happening without judging what's happening. If we do that, then misinformation towards ourselves, fake news towards ourselves, because that's what our minds do. We create our own fake news, we create our own beliefs through judgment, and therefore we cannot see directly what's here and dealing with what's here. And this is why a lot of people go into paranoia. This is why a lot of people go into fears, insecurities, because we are judging instead of seeing our relationship and taking responsibility for our relationship in relation to what's happening, and seeing that we are equal participants. We need to take responsibility for how we are responding to what's happening or what's taking place, because it's through our acceptances and allowances within who we are that's going to determine the outcome of anything. And now specifically with coronavirus, you can see how the world is locking down, how they're putting in all these barriers where people can't travel certain places, people wearing masks, gloves, how people exchange money just over counters, how travel restrictions are put in, people can't travel, people are trapped in countries, they have to find their way back home. There's a lot of points that's taking place, but what is your relationship in relation to that? Because I'm just going to give a random example. Let's say you're resisting what the government is implementing because you're in a conspiracy that it's a conspiracy, because of your judgment. Now, I'm not saying it's not a conspiracy. I'm just saying, if you're within that point, what's your actions going to be with that judgment? Because if you're going to start revolting or having a revolution based on restrictions and things put in place because of the virus, even if the virus is a manufactured thing and deliberately released into society, that doesn't matter because it's happening. So you have to look at your relationship in relation to what's happening. Work with reality, not with the theory. Don't work with the theory. Don't work with the beliefs and ideas and opinions around it. Otherwise, you're going to miss the point. And your relationship and how you respond is going to determine a lot. And let's say your response comes from all those theories and beliefs and ideas. What you're going to create is the next step for the government to implement, which is then following their plan. As an example, now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if people start refusing to listen and refusing the curfews, then you will have martial law as the next point being implemented. Then you will have violence. Then you will have fighting and war as the next escalating point. And therefore, governments and military can clamp down more and do more. And in the end, you can actually remove the economic system and you can literally work off the war system within civilized environments. And therefore, you have total control. So if everyone comply and there is no reason for martial law and people are breathing and stopping their reactions, stopping their backchat, stopping their judgments, stopping everything we have that we are working in a different reality from versus the reality that's here, then we might just change the world instead of enforcing the old system to clamp down. So this is just an example of how you have to not judge things. That means drop all your ideas and beliefs and opinions. Let it go. Work with your direct reality. See how people are responding and change your relationship in relationship to that. Do not go into reactions. Do not go into the fears and the paranoias. Remain practical. Use common sense. Work with what is here. And within that, you become a human being that supports everyone else, support yourself, and you create a world that's best for all, even in the worst case scenario. Because you're checking yourself. You're taking responsibility for yourself. If you're going to be a reactive person, then you're going to create more consequences. And everyone's going to react to your reactions and everyone's going to participate in that direction forward. So, yes, it's a system. Yes, it's a government. Yes, it's something we have not enjoyed our whole lives. Yes, it's never worked because there's starvation, there's poverty, there's war. All this crap exists. But this can be an opportunity for us to change things within who we are in relation to what's happening, to direct it in a way that's best for all. And just maybe, just another dimension. Imagine people comply and people are civilized and decent and care for each other. What if the conspiracy that runs the government start changing because they're seeing people are changing? Because remember, the governments and the elites, they're also running off fear. Everyone's running off fear. We're all slaves to the system, equally. There's not one person that's not a slave. The elite is slaves to the behavior of the masses. It's just how it is. If the masses change, and the masses actually show that they can take responsibility and that they can work together, just maybe the elite will be like, wait, why are we controlling everyone? They seem to be fine. Why do we fear the masses? We don't have to. What if we check our relationships and our nature in relation to what's happening and change ourselves? Just maybe we change the world. Consider that. So I hope this helps you guys to look at things differently. Stop judging, stop conspiring, stop believing, stop creating opinions. Just work with reality, your direct environment, and be the example that you would like to see in this world. And that is to do not judge things. Watch the relationships you form with things, and you will see the nature of yourself that requires direction. Bernard Pullman, Destiny. Thank you.